So first of all, I just wanted to make a quick disclaimer because there's always that one person that's got to say something negative. And no, I am not a professional hair colorist. However, I have enough experience, I believe, to share with you guys my knowledge on how to bleach your hair extensions. I have had ups and downs when it comes to bleaching different hair extensions, especially curly hair. But I have found, products and ways that works in order to keep somewhat a healthy hair extensions after the bleach. So that is why I'm here to just show you guys how I do that. Also, the products I'm using in this particular video might seem a bit expensive. You can probably buy similar products cheaper, or you might even buy bleach from like your beauty supply, but I don't recommend using that because it doesn't have the same effect. I don't care what anyone says, but buying, the cheap bleach from your beauty supply isn't the same as these professional products I'm using in this particular video. This strength I'm using is way stronger than others, so therefore the results are better and less damaging also for the hair. So if you want to use those products, go ahead, but I cannot guarantee you the same results. So I would suggest to use the same products I'm using in this video if you actually care about getting the same results. This video is long overdue. I know, I'm sorry, but this is going to be a short and sweet video, so let's get started. I'm using Schwarzkopf this time, and I'm using the Blonde Me series. This is a powder that is blue, and it lifts up to 9 levels. I'm also using the peroxide, which is from Blonde Me, and I'm using 20 volume. That is right, only 20 volume. The mixing instructions are on the bottle, but you might need to add extra peroxide depending on how you like your thickness. It's kind of with Schwarzkopf and the Blonde Me series, you can kind of add a little bit more peroxide if you want to. It just really depends. You see how it works out for you. So I'm just putting on the bleach, as you can see, and I'm using one of these combs. I don't know the name of them, but it's a comb that allows you to brush out the hair dye. And you might think, well, why don't you just use a regular comb? Well, this comb actually has a little edge on the end of the comb, which kind of catches the hair dye, so it doesn't actually, you don't lose hair dye. Because if you use a regular comb, you kind of brush it out, the actual hair dye or the bleach, but this comb doesn't do that. So yeah, I'm just using that for more even results. And then lastly, I am just massaging in all the bleach just to make sure it is fully penetrated and covered everywhere. And lastly, I'm just putting some foil around the hair to make it process faster. Even though these products will make the hair kind of process faster anyways because they're so powerful, you don't really need the foil, but I'm just using it anyway because I'm used to doing that. And as you can see, the hair in this clip here is looking like it has green pigments in it. That's how you know you need to rinse it out. But don't worry, it's not going to look green or anything when you take it out. It just means that the processing is done. As you can see now, the hair is really, really yellow, which is really good. The more yellow the hair is, the better the toning and the hair dye that you put on top of it is going to turn out. So I'm using a color by the brand called Next Generation. It's just a very cheap brand. I'm using the color 6.1. It's not shown here, but it's a dark ash blonde. And I'm also mixing this with a Schwarzkopf Igora Royal, which is in their metallic range, in the color 6.32. So here you can see I've mixed the two, and I've also added some peroxide. When you use these type of colors, you should only use 20 volume or maybe 30 at the most. Never use anything more than that. So I'm just mixing it all together. It looks like a really nice yellow mustardy color almost. Adding some more peroxide because it's not thin enough. And then I'm just brushing on this mixture on the hair. As you can see, I'm not really going all the way down because I want the hair to be a little bit darker on the top than the bottom. So at first I'm just going over majority of the hair, but I'm leaving some of the ends. Don't worry if it's not like too even. It's curly hair. It's going to look natural. You don't want it to be a straight line anyway, so it will look fine. Don't worry, I know it looks a bit messy. So as you can see, I put on the hair dye, the mixture, the 6.1 and the 6.32. As you can see, I've left a few ends kind of like not really covered because once again, it will look more natural that way. This is my second bundle, and here I'm actually leaving more of the ends yellow because I'm just going to tone it rather than actually using the hair dye mixture. And this is such a little close-up, as you can see. The color is really taking well. Now, once I've rinsed that out, I'm going to use a toner, and I'm going to use the Wella Color Charm in the T18. And always when you use the Wella, you always need a 20 volume and nothing higher than that. So always use 20 volume when you mix that. So this is how it looks when the mixture is on, the toner that is. I like to also use this product. It's from Superdrugs here over in the UK. I'm not sure where you could find it elsewhere. You might find something similar. It's just like a toner similar to Wella, but it's not like, doesn't have any chemicals or anything. So I put that on top as well, and once it was done, I rinsed it out, and this is how the color looks. It looks a bit dark, obviously, because it's still wet, but you can see that the curls are still there, they're still defined, and yeah, the hair is really soft still and hasn't experienced any tangles or any major shedding above the normal. Another thing I want to make clear is that when you're using your iPhone camera to take photos versus when you're using a professional camera versus when you're using a flash and when you're not versus when you're using daylight and nightlight, your hair color will look different in every single photo. So that is why I want to show you guys a few different photos to see how you can tell that the hair looks different, but it's actually the same hair. So also another thing is when you use a toner, it's not permanent, which means that eventually it will rinse out and bring some of that yellow slash brashiness back. So you need to keep using toners, or you can use silver shampoos, which are literally your best friend. And silver shampoos will basically tone down the brassiness and bring up the ashiness. That sounds cool. Tone down the brassiness and bring up the ashiness. Hey! As you can see in this photo, it looks very ashy, and that's because I've used a silver shampoo. Okay, guys. Hope I helped someone with this video. It was obviously a lot shorter than the first one, but hopefully it was long enough to answer most of your questions. If, however, you have any questions that I didn't answer in the video, you can leave your comment down below and I'll try to answer. It's really hard sometimes when you ask certain questions that required like a long explanation. So I try to be as thorough as possible, but if not, then I will try my best to answer your questions. Okay guys, thank you for watching. Love y'all.